Well, today is Pearl Harbor Day. It's December the 7th, and Braylon Harris is my guest, and who am I?
You are Mr. Paul Pettefer.
That's right, and he and I both provide leadership to some church activities in our city, and the story that we want to tell today is that God takes things that get burnt to the ground, like ships got burnt to the ground on Pearl Harbor Day, and right behind us there's a scene, and Braylon, tell us what happened here last Friday night.
On last Friday night, a very, very horrific scene took place just behind us here on the corner of Alma Street, where two individuals that had been working together for quite some time seemed to be in a relationship. All of a sudden, things just went south. They're not sure exactly what happened or how it happened as far as the conversation or the altercation that took place, but a young lady passed away, or a young lady died, or a young lady that was murdered right here on this corner. A young man now sits in jail with a $2 million bond, and now, as you said before, a life, a family, a relationship has now been burned to the ground.
And if we don't have hope, right, and if you're watching this video, maybe it's because you clicked on one of our Facebook pages and you're searching for hope or you're participating in that. If we don't have hope, then we just shrink into nothing. And so this story just tells us there's so much of that. The corner of Alva and Melvin, someone was murdered. The corner of this and such, someone gets arrested. Someone in your life gets pregnant as a teenager, or they're in a drug addiction, or they're embezzling money, or they're just mean. And they're just full of anger. And those stories are all over the map. And so the point of us coming today, we're going to go to 3 sites and tell 3 stories, is to connect our hearts. We're going to start with just he and I. Maybe it's just for us today, with the bigger hope of a story that God takes ashes that we burn to the ground, and he makes something beautiful out of it. And we got a picture here of Miss Brittany, and she's a lovely girl. And then we have a picture of Mr. Kevin, the fellow who is arrested now and in jail awaiting a trial for the murder. And they had looked like a love relationship or something like that, and now it ended in something beautiful. And God can turn all of our terribles into something beautiful. And you mentioned a word a minute ago, Braylon. Let's reconnect us for just 30 seconds with that word that you talked about a second.
Absolutely, and that's the word called grace. You mentioned the burning something down to the ground. If fire is the metaphor, then grace is the fire extinguisher. Have some way that no matter what's going on in your life, and many of us have a lot of devastating things going on in our lives, as you have mentioned before, pregnant, teenager, whether it's a troubled child, whatever it might be, understand that no matter how big that fire may seem, there's a grace that God seems to have that can stop the fire, that can stop the burning, that can even heal the hurt, and that can even soothe the scars. That on the other side of though you've gone through a terrible fire, you won't look like what you've been through if you apply a little grace to it. And God has grace in abundance. He said, every morning, my mercies and my grace are brand new every morning. And that's something that we have to come in relationship with and really get to know, because a lot of times we don't share that with one another. And a lot of times it's hard to find grace and mercy with another person. But there is someone that has plenty enough grace, plenty enough mercy, that no matter what you're going through, he can stop the hurting, he can stop the bleeding, he can stop the fire, he can bring healing.
And he uses all that destruction that his opponent meant for evil, and he'll use it even for good. And so we're praying. We're going to drive and to the next site, and we're going to pray for the 2 families that are just experiencing such pain, and for the young woman who tragically was murdered here. And we're going to keep telling a story.